Kendrick Davis resigned. I don't know that he's been replaced yet. Okay, so that there is that vacancy, but Marilyn did indicate that she would be here through the email thread. Kevin, do we have a quorum without Marilyn? All right. Well, I've got 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda? All right, there's a motion. All right, a motion, a second. All in favor? It's unanimous. All right, in old business, we'll look at the approval of minutes from the long-lost January 16th. Looking back, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm going way back. So I've looked over these. I don't see any challenges with them. Does anyone else have any concerns? I saw you were the only one here. So with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes. All right, and all in favor? So we're unanimous. All right, new business. Hand it over to Sean.
Good afternoon, Commission.
Good afternoon.
So our first item today is the intro for our new board members. We have Mr. Andrew Newton as well as Marilyn Glass. Commissioner Newton, he's actually going to be representing Ward 3, and then Commissioner Glass is going to be representing Ward 4. So congratulations to you too, Ms. Glass. She's not here at the moment. Which actually will actually move down to our second item, if you will. And we actually have a new community development director. She's actually has 15 plus planning experience. She's had planning experience from Southern California, Florida, here in Georgia. She has all different types of experience from being a planner with the government, long-range planner. So I think that should be beneficial, especially for me being a planner one. I want to introduce our new community development director, Ms. Nina Shabazz.
Yay!
Commissioners, I'm honored to be here. I'm really happy to serve the community of Village.
Thank you. Thank you for taking on the task.
And we're going to go down to our third item. It is the discussion for our training for our new members. As we are aware, Commissioner had actually attended some meetings with Carl Vinson Institute in January. I believe you actually did 101 and 102, both of those classes. Okay, awesome. I'm just going to touch bases. We actually like to give new members a bit of a choice. It's always good to have choices. So we actually have, similar to what Commissioner had actually went to, is actually, again, the Carl Vinson Institute of Government. They actually hold classes. They actually do a conjunction with UGA, and that's actually held at the University of Georgia Gwinnett campus. And this is I'll go ahead and send, we haven't already, send the PowerPoint information to our new commissioners, just to give them, again, a little bit of more options. The in-person Carl Vinson Institute of Government, again, it's going to be held at the Georgia Gwinnett campus. There's some upcoming dates. There's one's going to be August 1st as well as November 7th. Those are the two most recent days. And again, those are for the 101 basic course. And again, that just alludes to a couple things like the basics of what planning and zoning is, what the board members will actually get into, and a little bit of the legal aspects of it. So it's very, very, very beneficial just for everybody. I'm looking into attending some classes myself. It's always good to just learn and be a student of this. Is always transitioning. So going down to our second one is actually a online option. It's actually for Pletizen, that they're actually going to be in conjunction with Kennesaw or Michigan State, that's going to be online again. It's a 10-hour course. It's going to be discussing things like intro to planning, how planning works, how zoning works, again, legal frameworks, and again, very, very beneficial. Both of these courses, the in-person one with Carl Vinson as well as the Pletizen one, both of those are going to be, we'll have certificates. One, the in-person one will be a completion certificate, and the online course is actually you all will take quizzes, and then after the end of the courses, you receive a certificate. And do you all have any questions, concerns pertaining to that?
I took that course in Fayetteville, so sometimes they'll move around.
Okay.
With Carl Vinson.
And those opportunities are good to keep up with from time to time. I've found value personally by, even though it might be the same course, by a different instructor, you get different information. So, you know, if a couple of years go by and you've already had 101 and an opportunity comes by that's convenient to take 101 again, I would talk with staff about trying to get that done, because I found value in having different people tell you a little bit different styles of teaching, and their information is different. But the training is very important. It'll help you with the decisions that you make, because a lot of times you're looking at, well, what's the lawful decision according to the zoning ordinances, and what is the people out here telling you and want. And so sometimes that's a good way to find that balance, is fall back on some of your training.
And our firm is always, if you guys are hearing something and y'all need some information on that or something you don't understand, we're happy to put a program together just for this group that we present at the meeting.
That's a great idea.
And again, I'll go ahead and send information to the new commissioners, and you can go ahead and just look at them, and then you can just send an email back to me or back to staff, and just let us know if you want to do that in person or online.
Thank you, Sean.
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'll pick up number 4. So we need to reorganize. My eligibility is limited. I don't know exactly when my eligibility will end. My councilman has been notified several months ago to be looking for a replacement for Ward 2. I am still eligible, but I don't know how long that'll be, so I think it's prudent that we nominate a new chairman and vice chairman tonight, if that's the pleasure of the rest of the commissioners. I would nominate Ashley Head to be chair. You're welcome. And I think that you're well qualified, and it's a little different when you're sitting up here, so don't. I took a few classes after my first public spot up here on historic preservation, and that was very helpful. So it's just a little bit. I'm sure you already know a few basic things of Robert's rules, and that comes into play sometimes. And, you know, I don't have an opinion on a vice chair. I haven't met. Tonight's the first I met you, so I would kind of rely on my fellow commissioners here or staff. If you want to table the vice chair, if you want to move forward tonight, whatever your pleasure.
Yeah, we think a little bit more time will be adequate, so we'll like the table.
The vice chair?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Do I hear a second on Ashley?
Yeah.
All right, and all in favor? Congratulations.
Thanks.
and I'm a phone call away, and so is Mr. Hanneback. Can you believe that? I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is. And if I'm still eligible in July, my spots hasn't been filled, I'll be back for another meeting, but I just don't know. So I've really enjoyed my time and what I've learned, and being able to contribute to the city at a high level. And I don't know how I got to be the chair, but I'm grateful for my fellow commissioners' confidence and trust with the position. And just being a part of it is great. So it's you make the chair either by being the last one standing or having the hardest head. So that's what I've learned across the other boards. So that's the prize. All right, we'll move on to public comment, and I've got John Hanneback.
Well, this is not exactly what I had thought we would have tonight. I had expected a new commission.
Sir, would you please state your name and
I'm
address for the
sorry.
record?
So you had it in front of you. I assume that was it. I'm John Hanneback, 3106 Golfers Way, Villa Rica. I know what you're going through as planning and zoning commissioners, because I've been in that chair for probably 13 or 14 years. Just resigned, as a matter of fact, per the minutes at the last meeting. There hasn't been a meeting in planning and zoning since then, which is unfortunate, but I guess nothing much has come up. And I've been chair of planning and zoning for at least 5 or 6 years. So I know a little bit about what you're going through and how you got there. I'm disappointed that we don't have 5 commissioners, because I really had wanted to address you all. Planning and zoning is an extremely important committee for the city of Villa Rica. It's part of a state law, that planning and zoning is defined by state law, as opposed to some of the other important committees of the city. So take this position seriously, because it is very serious. Although, bear in mind, you are only a referral. Any decision you make, as strong as it may be, is still a referral to the city council. So your decisions may very well be overridden, but that doesn't lessen the importance of what you discuss and what you come up with as your recommendations. You talked a little bit about training. I urge you to attend those training sessions, because they are invaluable. While I was on the commission and as chair, I had submitted a plan to do some internal training, and I still think that would be important to the commissioners, over and above the training that you get from Carl Vinson. I think there's a lot to be learned if we could have an internal training session wherein all of the directors, the city manager, the deputy city manager, could come before you and explain their role and what they do, because they are very important as part of the entire city activities. So I proposed that months and months and months before I retired, and nothing has ever happened. Maybe nothing ever will. But I still would like the staff to consider that as a possibility. If you don't have a copy of what I put together, I still have it, so I would be glad to submit it. I look forward to seeing some significant changes in the next few months. We've had turmoil. There have been a lot of problems in the last several months, and I hope with what we're seeing occurring, there will be some changes and that it will directly impact planning and zoning. We have done a lot of zoning changes over the last couple of years. Not all of those zoning changes were approved by P&Z. But again, you are but a referral to the commissioners, and they will make a decision as to what they want to do. That doesn't mean you should carte blanche accept the recommendations of the staff. Get out and view these sites that you're going to be party of. I hope you will get packets sent to you in advance of the minutes, or in advance of the meetings, preferably on the Friday before the Tuesday meetings. That will give you time as commissioners to get out and view those properties that you're going to make a decision on. Visit those properties. No more than two of you together, because if it's more than two, it becomes a meeting, and you don't want that. But individually, or one or two of you, by all means, get out and visit those. And it is important that get out and look at what, from your perspective, the road conditions are, the community, etc. But get out and view those properties, and then come back on the following meeting and discuss those among yourselves. In the past, we've not had a lot of internal discussion, or as much as I would like to have seen. By all means, get involved and discuss these decisions that you're going to be making. Another concern that I have, you saw the minutes that you approved tonight. Those are not much in the way of minutes. All they state were what was presented as a recommendation and what the vote was. And that's what goes to the council. That is not enough. The council needs to hear what you have discussed as a Planning and Zoning Commission. So I urge the staff to develop more significant meetings. I went back and looked at minutes of Planning and Zoning back in 2018, 2019, and they were significant. They said items that were discussed and what the discussion was. I would like to see you go back to that. Trying to get that done is really up to the staff, but that's what goes before the council. And in fact, what's pretty much come before the council has just been just the P&Z voted 3-2 or P&Z voted 5-0. And that's all the council hears. They don't get anything in their packets. I had written up the minutes of one of our meetings in some detail and was told that that would be presented as a packet to the council. It was not. Maybe it needs to have representation from Planning and Zoning at the council meetings. I don't know. If so, be prepared to make those discussions at the council meetings. But I urge you to take this job very, very seriously, because that's what it should be. Let's see, what else? Do I have any other items that I wanted to say? Again, your referral only. Joint committee. The joint committee exists. It's a committee, if you are familiar, that was formed as part of a TAD, the tax allocation district, identified and defined that joint committee. It consists of 5 members, 2 from the school board, 2 from the council, and then 1 from the county. Right now, the council's recommendation for the membership is the city manager and the deputy city manager. That's a very poor committee, because those are the people that are making the decisions on what is going to be presented in the way of planning and zoning changes. So having them part of the joint committee seems a little bit unfavorable to me. But that's not up to you to decide. That's up to the council to decide. But get involved with planning and zoning, with the joint committee, because they can override you as per their definition of the joint committee. There are situations where they will dominate, particularly if it involves new housing that affects the city schools. So they can override you. So get involved with that. Another thing that's been a craw in my side has been the so-called, what are they called, the TAC, the Technical Advisory Committee. I still find it hard to define who the heck is on the TAC. But they have taken over, by definition, in some of the changes in the city's ordinances. taken over some of the roles of planning and zoning. And I don't know that that should be. So you may want to reconsider that and find out a little bit more about who that TAC was. It was, the previous planning and zoning, director or whatever he was called, Ron Johnson, but it also considered the community development director, who was at that time Tracy Jarvis, and I don't know who the third member was. But again, they have taken over some of the role of planning and zoning, and take a look at that and make some decisions on your own as to whether that's still, you won't be able to vote on it because again, it goes to the council to approve. So, they'll override anything that you decide to do. But those are some of the key things that I think I would want you to be familiar with and aware of. And as David had said, I've resigned, but if there's anything I can ever do for the chair or the commission, give me a holler, give me a call. I want to really laud Sean for his role in planning and zoning. He stepped in at a very, very difficult time with Ron Johnson leaving, and he was thrown into a morass, I think, and he's handled that very, very well. And thank Sean for your efforts in doing that. So, anybody have any questions of me that I can convey or pass on? I'm sorry that all of the council is not here, or commission is not here, but
We'll make sure everybody's got your email, Mr. Hanback.
Okay.
and that-
again, look forward
Keep those,
to
those communications open.
hearing about you and from you, and I hope the commissioners or the council gets their act together and fills some of these appointments. They know when the terms are up for planning and zoning, and they've discussed this ad nauseum, and yet here we sit with two people not here, one not even appointed for Ward 1. So that's very disappointing to me, but glad to see a new face represented. Ashley, look forward to your involvement. David, hope you'll be around for some period of time. so-
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
All right, I've got, we've still got public comment open. Is there anyone here that would like to speak that didn't sign in? Please state your name and address.
Yes, I'm Dave Laddick from 9783 Reflections Drive in Mirror Lake. I was going through my notes here and checking off what, as I say, Dad did, as far as some of the things I was going to say. But in any event, my issue is planning and zoning itself. A lot of zoning, not a lot of planning. And that seemed to be an issue we had throughout the last few years, as why the involvement of the Planning and Zoning Commission is not really involved too much in the planning. Let me read your responsibilities just quickly. The Billerica Planning and Zoning Commission is charged with developing and maintaining the comprehensive plan and submitting the plan and its elements to the City Council. The Planning and Zoning Commission also reviews and makes recommendations regarding changes to the comprehensive plan land use map. Now, I was involved in the comprehensive planning committee last year. John was too. 29 people were invited. I don't think any other commission here was that I'm aware of. And of the 29, 5 of us showed up to put this plan together, which is a state law for the next 5 years. This is our 5th one we've had to do since 2005. Since 2005, we've had like 214 actions to be taken care of. Only 68 was completed, but that was worth an estimate of $90 million. I'm not sure where all the money is or where it went or if that is actually the amount, because we really don't get many updates. They claim that at the end of 5 years, we kind of meet and say, okay, what did we complete over the last 5 years? Somebody knows, don't know who that is. Somehow it gets updated and Three Rivers puts the plan together and says, okay, you completed this and you completed that. But did we? The other option is you can review it on a one-year basis, and I think we should review it on a one-year basis, so we know which actions have been completed and which have not. Right now, there are 45 actions in our new plan. 5 of them should be completed this year for a total of $9 million. Do we know where we are with those action plans? This says your responsibilities are supposed to be involved in this. But did they make you involved? I mean, who's in charge of actually getting you involved in the comprehensive planning? That's something that really needs to be reviewed. In the planning aspect of it, I know John, even David and that, everybody talked about trying to get planning and zoning involved with the planning. Talked to Ron about it. Want to try to meet with them regarding it, but to no success of that portion. There are 3 actually planning committees: Planning and Zoning, the TAC, which is the Technical Advisory Committee, and the Joint Committee. How they all work together, no one really knows yet, and that's something else that needs to be worked out. Right now, it looks like the TAC committee does more of the planning, which you should be involved with, but I know you don't. So those are some of my concerns about the responsibility of the commission and the more involvement in this comprehensive planning, which we pay Three Rivers every 5 years some big bucks for it, but really don't know what's going on throughout the 5 years and what's been completed. The other issue I have is each commission has a document center. You have a huge document center of about 32 different elements in there. A lot of it's really old. John and I went through it all. Needs badly updating. I don't know who's in charge of doing that, but the document center needs to be kind of reviewed too to see what should be in there and what should not be in there. So that's another one I'm looking at. My background has usually been with the city for the past 3 years, has been kind of the history, who's handling what, who does what, who reports to whom, organizations themselves, and charts, data, statistics of it all, and I get highly into that. So I always will be involved in where are we with certain data and things involved with the city. With that, I thank you then.
Thank you. And one thing I'll add to the gentleman is that right now, council hears variances, and when I watch the council meeting, it blows me away to watch some of the decisions that are being made by our city council. Not that they are not in the position to do so, it's their council, but I hear it, we've talked about training, and sometimes you've got people on council hearing variances and dragging out the council meeting for hours over things that, quite frankly, that some of the council members could use some planning and zoning training if they're gonna hear variances, and that would greatly cut down on some of the council meeting time, the way that I've watched them the last few years. With that being said, I think that it's just my opinion that the city go back to having a variance committee of people that could take some of that burden off, and this body has in the past brought that forward and offered that many times over many meetings over all the years that I've been present. So I would say just don't let go with that. Keep fighting for a little bit more, because it seems like the longer it goes on, you get less and less say, and we're here to represent the people as well as what the ordinance says. So with that, I would make a motion that we adjourn. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
You know you're not at a council meeting then, right?
I get home and my whole family's in bed.
Yeah.